Just wanted to pop on here and give you guys an update, to those of you that are kind of keeping up. Um, let's see. We went out and picked some blueberries today. It was like our first fruits. So there they are. And that's just a little bit that's ready to go that we were able to get. And there's a lot more coming. So I'm really happy about that. So I'm going to give you guys an update on what I'm doing with the house and on the bees in the garden. So I'm going to turn the camera around here. So as you can see, I leveled this section, cut that section of sill, and I have a little template in there. It's a little piece of plywood, and that timber over there has that joint cut on it, and that one is going to go in that space right there. So that's going to replace the rotten one that was there. So I've been basically today, I've been measuring where to cut the pocket on that timber for this tenon, and also where, when I replaced a piece here, where it connects this way. I took some measurements there. This jack is not holding any weight. Actually, this is supporting on a bracket up here, but my plan is to attach this timber to the vertical post there with the legs and have that take the weight so I can remove this stuff and I can get that other timber in there. I got to do something with this too. And then, so these are permanent. I still have to put some knee braces in, and then I'm gonna frame that in and cover it in. And this is all gonna be covered for winter. And then, I'll do some siding and probably some stucco down here. So making some progress. Some of you may not be aware, I have my own business now. I'm doing this kind of stuff full time. And I tried to book my jobs this summer with a few weeks in between so I could work on the house, and the last few jobs were extended, and so I literally have been going back to back. I've only worked on this for a couple of days here and there, Richard and I. So getting a little bit closer on this timber, so I cut the same joint there. Not super pretty. This is actually a difficult joint to cut, especially when the timber is already installed. It's really difficult to cut that because you're reaching and everything. At least if it's on the ground or on some sawhorses, it's easier to cut. And then Shirley, say hi. Say hi. Good girl. And then let's see, we've got chickens. I'm sure we've touched on this. I finished the run a few weeks ago, and we got the chickens in there, and they're loving it. Actually, they're taking a bath in the ashes. That's what that bowl is. Got ashes and stuff in it. They love to kind of shake around in that. And then let's see, our garden. We have had literally like 2 months of rain. So I know this looks like a ton of weeds here, but we finally were able to walk in here. It was just mud. We finally were able to walk in here, and we weeded around the plants. There's also weeds, in between in the rows, but we're gonna put some hay in there, so that doesn't really matter too much. But we weeded around our plants. You can see that some of them are doing pretty good there. But yeah, we don't really know what's going to happen. There's not a lot of tomato action right now, and Jackie was kind of afraid that maybe they got too much water. See if I can just give you a little, this is going to be like squash and pumpkins and stuff like that. Again, we haven't been able to get in there and weed, but these are on mounds. so they've been able to be sort of above the water. Planted a few apple trees over here, so we're still kind of doing things with those. Let's see, just to give you an idea, this is what's happening all over the yard. Tried to mow the lawn the other day. You hear that? I'm walking. Just water. Lots and lots of rain. Just rain, rain, rain. And so I've barely been able to mow the lawn, which is kind of a frustrating experience. But I'm gonna head down to the little apiary here and show you what I did today. We have had a couple of days of beautiful weather, so it's sort of drying up down here. And I guess while I'm down here, I can show you this too. So somewhere up where that bulldozer is, the drain that we installed ends, and Richard and I are going to continue the drain all the way down here to about where the beehives are, because that's where the grade starts going really downhill. And we're hoping that that will dry that out really well. It's already sort of getting dry, so it's a major improvement, but we're looking to dry that out a little bit more, and maybe in the future I'm planning on putting a barn or something over there. But a lot of action going on in the beehives. I don't know if you guys can see, a lot of action there. I was in here today, and boy was it hot in that bee equipment. So what I did today, I added a box to this, and then the one on top, this box up on top here, there's actually food in there that's, so the bees aren't able to get up that high, but I was able to put a jar of food in there. The food is a mixture of water and sugar. And the reason I am adding some food for them is these are relatively new colonies, and I really want to jumpstart them. This one was doing extremely well, so a while back I added this box right here. So these are deep boxes, and then I put what they call a queen excluder right between the deep one and the medium. And what that does is it stops the queen from being able to go up into the honey super, which is what the one on top is called. So all the worker bees and then whatever can get up there and store honey, but the queen cannot get up there and lay eggs. So it just makes it a little easier to harvest the honey when it's time. So I ended up putting a couple of frames from this medium box that were basically 80% capped honey in that box. So yeah, I kind of robbed this one to get that one going, but we really want to harvest some honey this year, so it looks like it's going to happen. We have a lot of capped honey in there. I'm going to leave the majority of it. These guys have capped deep frames already, and all of them actually have capped honey in the deep frames. So I bet you there's probably 50, 60, 80 pounds of honey in there. I know 50 to 80. It's quite a range, but it's hard to tell without actually weighing it. I did have a little bit of an issue with my electric fence this year, but as soon as I cleaned it up and I weed whacked around the outside and cleared out all the brush that could be touching the wires and shorting it out. And also we had a couple of nice sunny days, so I was able to put it on charge. And now I'm going to flick that switch to on. So now the fence is active and ready to ward off bears. So far I've only seen one bear down here, and the electric fence did its job, so really happy about that. I'll turn the camera around so you can see this. What a difference, guys. We Jackie and I were reminiscing about coming here before we bought this property, and we took a walk all the way down this field. None of this was here. The apiary wasn't here. All of this was overgrown over here. And then somewhere over there, I planted 3 apple trees this year. We've got the nice big garden, the chickens, the chicken coop. You know, we're doing the work on the house, so really psyched about what's happening. The blueberries are going great. We have nets around that. I'm planning on taking these trees down. There's 2 apricot trees and a cherry tree here, and that one's supposed to be a cherry tree. But the cherries are really tart, so it's like the birds get to them and stuff before we get a chance. So, but this year we actually did put a net around that, and we got cherries, and when they were ripe, you know, we were picking them and tried to eat some, and they were like semi-sweet, and they had like a real like sour taste to them. So we're just gonna, those were here, so we're just gonna cut them down, and then I mean, I might even try to save the rootstock and graft a better cherry in there. I've been kind of researching that a little bit. Sorry about the camera. I'm not used to doing this, so. But the apricot trees, the story behind this, you see how the leaves are really wilting and everything's just dying? It's because of the rain. I mean, look at this, guys. I mean, we have had literally rain every day for like a couple of months. This is the driest it's been. And I don't know if you can tell, but you hear that mush? It's really mushy over here. And we got kind of discouraged because we don't have any peaches. Our peach trees were affected by a major frost before the spring, so we had like a 21 below zero stint, and it wreaked havoc all over this area. Most people lost their apples and their peaches and stuff. But check this out. If anybody knows anything about these, this was supposed to be a cherry tree, and we finally got these little cherries on them. I did taste them, and they're kind of sweet, but they're mostly sour. I'll show you right now that they are edible, because I would have been sick by now. It's actually not terrible. I think you could make a jam out of it or something. Yeah. But you'd have to pick like a gazillion of them, and there's just not that many on the tree. But yeah, if anybody knows what these are, this is the first time since we've owned the property that we've seen fruit. And the former owner said he never got fruit off it, so he was going to cut it down. Now, he said with the apricot tree, the big one here, he said every 3rd year, he said there was so much fruit on that you didn't know what to do with it. It just fell to the ground because there was so much fruit. But we haven't seen anything, so it's been a good 3 to 4 years, and we haven't seen anything, and the tree is actually dying. You can see the bark kind of falling off on the trunk there. And then the little apricot tree, we haven't seen any action with that either. I don't think they do well around here. They're just not, it's just not the right climate for them. Even the peach trees are, they bear really good fruit, but I think they're not overly hardy, and the New England weather is really harsh for them. So let's see, our raspberry bushes are doing so-so. Got a few berries on them, but there's a lot of beetles on them this year. We got these beetles. I don't know if it has something to do with the rain. We don't spray our stuff because we just want to kind of try to keep it as natural as possible. But we have these little blueberry bushes, and they're already giving us berries. I picked a few today. I got to weed that too. I pulled some weeds out of this patch. Yeah, so you see my net system I made. It just covers it. It's definitely kept the birds out. I pulled some scrubby plants that were growing in here that looked like blueberry bushes, but they were imposters. They weren't blueberry bushes, and they were sucking the life out of our blueberry bushes. So, I mean, you can see a lot of blueberries on there, and we literally just picked that bucket of them in there. So, yeah, the dang beetles are getting on there. You see them on the berries? Still plenty of berries to go around though. And these guys, these are really sweet and big. So once they ripen, we'll be getting after those. But poor peach trees, there's nothing going on. They look healthy. And I did prune them this spring before they budded. So they look like they're bursting out, but they will not have any fruit, sadly, because of the frost. So, bummer. Take you around to show you. I don't know if I showed you guys, but I got a new truck. I got a truck for my business because my old one, I was driving an 88 Chevy, and it broke down on me a couple times in the driveway, and I couldn't get to the job site. And I'm not so much embarrassed by it, but just the fact that I couldn't make it to the job site and people are kind of depending on me. So I decided to bite the bullet, got the new truck. My neighbor, his business is Northern Arc. He's a welder, and he made this headache rack for me. He welded it up and installed it for me. It's beautiful. It's been great. I can strap all kinds of stuff to it, and it's really rugged. And then, yeah, firewood. It's like, you know, don't tell me it's too early. It's never too early for firewood. Especially around here, you know, it's like you got to get a jump on it so you can start drying it. I'm even considering buying kind of a double load so I can stack some for next winter. But we've got that. We have some little machines here. I'm not gonna tell you what these are. I'm gonna wait and let Jackie tell you because it'll be a surprise. If you're curious, stay tuned. And then this is also something Jackie's really excited about. I know you can't really tell right now, but it's a Hoosier cabinet, and she is redoing it. We're both going to tag team this one because she's going to strip the paint and I'm going to fix the broken parts, and then we're going to put it back together and it's going to look beautiful. So I think that's it. I have made some progress on the workshop, but I'm still waiting on some lumber. So for the floor, and I can't really finish the walls and stuff until the floor is done, so I can walk on it and work in there. And then one more thing, we have a little robin's nest up here, and we have been really enjoying watching this because Mama has about 2 to 3 litters in this thing every year. Last year we saw 2 litters, and this year already this is our second one, and I can see the little mouths of the baby sticking up. And Mama's not too far away usually, and I'm probably cramping her style right now. She gets mad when I'm in her way, so. Just waving to the neighbor. So, peace out. Love you guys. I'll give you an update next week or the week after.